I don't even want to be on this podcast.
Couple disclaimers. Number one, we screwed up that Midwest neon again. I believe their company's Mid-West Sign Supplies. I'm actually not 100% sure, but I wanted to make sure that we cover that. We've screwed up their name a couple times. So,
and they're still not. They still haven't been purchased by Grimco.
And they're still,
Which now
they're still
makes
family
sense
owned.
when I said Midwest Sign, and they,
yes,
because apparently that I didn't know the name had even changed. So that
me neither.
That's an error.
But I've been told it's Mid-West.
Yeah.
So, the second disclaimer is I said when Judy's on, we'd have some wine. But I've been on a little too many medications for being sick, so we can't have wine. And then plus, you don't want to see Judy up on wine. No way. Like, we'd all end up fired in this whole room. So
that's for episode 50.
That's for episode 50 is when we're going to break out the bourbon probably. So stay tuned until episode 50. We're going to break out some bourbon. We're going to figure out who we need to be on to make sure we break out some good bourbon. If someone wants to send us some, we'll drink it. So other than that, thank you and enjoy the episode.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast.
I think it's a podcast.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. This one is voted #1 podcast in the United States by the board members of the NASSD. If you don't know who they are, go and look them up. Thank them for voting us #1. But today we have probably the best guest we're probably going to ever have on the podcast. At least the most important one. We'll decide best after we've finished the recording. But today we're going to have on Judy Nelson, CEO, Wensco Sign Supply, going to talk about kind of the history of Wensco, where we started, where we're at, where we're going, and cover all that. So should be a good time.
Yeah, we'll get right started. Judy Nelson's the 3rd generation owner, and we're going to ask her some questions about the history and what she's seen, what she's went through. So we'll start right away. Like, what year? If you don't know, I can tell you. But what year did Wensco start, and who started it and why?
It was started in 1937 by my grandfather. He repaired radios. He was at an electrical distributor to get a part. When a gentleman from Detroit walked in and asked the owner of the electrical distribution center if he wanted to sell sign supplies, and the man said, absolutely not. And my grandpa said, I will. And that's what started it.
Just a chance conversation?
Chance encounter, yep.
And then it bloomed from there, obviously.
Yep, he was selling anything he could at the time to make money, so he just added this to his bag of tricks, and it took off.
At what point did your dad get involved?
My dad got involved at a young age. He quit school and went to work for Wensco. When he got older, he decided to try driving a truck around and selling sign supplies off it. And it turned out to be very successful. He loaded his truck up on Monday. He was on the road till Friday, and his goal was to come back with the truck empty. So he went all over Michigan, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, selling supplies off the truck.
Yeah, for you younger people, if you don't know, that's like looking at a map, driving around trying to find these people, and you couldn't Google them either.
Nope.
So it was about looking in the phone book or knowing in contacts and stuff like that. Did your dad have any brothers and sisters, or was it just him?
He had one brother, one sister. His brother was involved for a few years. When I started working out of the office in 76, my uncle was there, but he wasn't there much longer than that.
So you started with Wensco in 1976?
I started earlier than that. But
what year did you start at Wensco?
I started as soon as I finished typing class and did billing at home at our house in the basement.
So what year was it?
1903.
I believe it.
1903 seems a little early.
It does kind of seem a little early, but...
I do have a question, though. On our end, why do we have 2 start dates for you?
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, why do we have two different start dates for you?
Because my grandpa fired me.
Understandable.
Yep. And the best thing about that was I went out, got other jobs. I know what it's like to work for people. I feel it's given me a lot of insight on how employees need to be treated. And it's my goal to make sure everyone feels valued and that they feel their job is valuable.
Yeah, we'll definitely get back to that point a little later in it because that's something we want to talk about too. But to finish out the history, when did you take over? When did your dad start heading out? And what about your brothers and sisters? How come you were the one to continue it on?
My sister was never involved. She's an RN, and she's a retired RN now. My brother worked in the business.
How old is your sister? Sorry, Sandy.
Because,
Never mind.
Because
older or younger siblings?
She's younger,
Okay.
very much younger.
There we go.
So Ralph was involved in the business for years. When we opened in Elk Grove Village, he moved down there. You know, if Detroit was having problems, he'd go to Detroit. At one point, he decided that he didn't want to be involved in the business anymore, so we bought him out. And not long after that, he passed away.
So what year was it that it was turned from like when it started to be? I know when I first started here, you were here and your dad was here, but do you know about what time it was or what year it was when you started to kind of like take over for what he was doing?
I never really took over for what my dad was doing. My dad was strong sales and marketing. He did not enjoy any other parts of the business. So I did, all the accounts receivable, payables, waited on the counter, answered the phones, taxes, just all the day-to-day background stuff to make the company go. My grandpa did do payables, but when he got sick, we weren't really computerized. We had invoicing on computers, but that was it. So at that point, my dad said, you got to figure out how to get this stuff done. So that's when we went fully computerized. And so I feel like my dad and I never had common job interests. I definitely answered to him, but, he was just so happy that he could do what he liked, and that's all he had to do.
Yeah, that's what we hear, at least from all the old timers, that he's a heck of a salesman. And that's a lot of why I think Wensco worked and grew is he was a heck of a salesman, and then he had enough operations people here, Rick Manchin for sure, here to handle operations because as an operations guy, you need the operations guy. You can't outsell your operations. Operations need to be in front of sales. Right,
and sales, because he loves sales, he started, we called it a flyer, which was probably a 30-page flyer that he sent all over the United States. And back in the day, it was either mail-in, check with order, or COD. And that's really when the business started taking off. Yeah, I can remember early days when we still shipped, hundreds of packages a day. Obviously, it changed from then because then everybody went to delivery, more trucks and everything like that. But even when I first started here, we only did, every customer got one delivery a week when I first started here. Now it's like almost everybody gets every day. Every city had a day. So everybody was getting UPS, where it's different now. We more of an Amazon model. We deliver every day. Tyler, I'm waiting for you to jump in. You haven't said a thing.
Obviously, of the three of us, I've been here the shortest time, obviously. So just hearing it is kind of interesting to me. Like, it's funny that we started, loading it onto a truck, and then basically now we load it onto a truck that's already been ordered and then go and drop it off. But before it was like essentially our sales guys loading it onto the truck and then being like, you can't come back here until your truck's empty. So you would just like show up and like walk in and be like, oh, okay, they have these products. Yeah, he was the only one that did that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you're saying like that's kind of the sales they were doing is like loading it up, and then you'd walk in and see what they already had and be like, oh, do you guys need any more of this, or this? like kind of like the Swan truck used to do kind of thing where like you just show up and be like, hey, do you guys need any food? Like that's kind of what he was doing, except for sign supplies. So I think that's interesting. And then full circle later, now we're run our whole business on deliveries. So before we were bringing it there and selling it to them, and now we're selling it to them and then bringing it to them, which kind of feels like it's full circle from where we started. So that's interesting.
So getting into it more, what do you enjoy? What would you say, like even now, what do you enjoy about Wensco? What is your, what do you like most about like being the CEO of Wensco, besides me?
Well, I wouldn't have put you there, but I enjoy the legacy. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the vendors, just the day-to-day. I love to follow the sales and, just look everything over and see if I can see any deficiencies or see things that are working really well and just following up on them. I enjoy the fact that I've hired what I feel like are amazing people that keep it going day to day, so I don't have to worry about it on a day in, day out basis.
Yeah, that's my job to worry about it on a day in, day out basis.
My job's to worry about you.
That's true. That's true. I think most of the people that know me are probably saying, yep, you're right.
Yes, I am Mike's boss.
Yep. I'd probably need the most supervision too.
It could just say Mike's babysitter and it would be equally relatable.
True.
Equally relatable.
Yeah, I ain't gonna argue it. So you talked earlier about like how employees are treated, and I think that sets us apart from most organizations. Is here you're treated as a person, and it starts with you at the top. And if people knew all the stuff we've done for employees or you've done for employees, we can't go through them all now because there's a lot of things that we've done we can't say. But that's one thing that I think everybody appreciates around here, like even me, and don't start crying, but like last year at this time, I was going through cancer treatment, and Judy was one that was making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do out of all the other people. Like I didn't get a call from my mom, but I get a call from Judy every day. So it's like, and even now, like I've been sick for like 5-6 weeks now, and she's the one texting me, stay home, go to the doctor, go do this, go do that, take this med. So and that's how she treats employees, like we're all her kids, even more so than what our parents treat us. So I know everybody appreciates it, and when people are going through hard times, she's always the first person to step up and help them out, which makes a difference. Makes a difference for all of us, and we all see it. But that's really the difference in Wensco employee-wise than most.
I like to know all the employees. I mean, I may get to the open houses once a year. Well, they're only once a year, but get to meet new employees and like the town meetings and things like that. I enjoy getting to know people. When I hear their name, be able to see their face, to let them know that, if you need anything from me, let me know. And that I'm relatable, because some of them actually, I don't know if it's like they think it's a corporate image or a figurehead or whatever. That's not me. I want to be involved with my people. I want to make a difference in their lives.
You can kind of see that when we look at like I just got a report from Jaime, like when we're going through, I was looking for people and roles at Wensco, but included in that report is also like start date, right? So we're looking at it, and we have a lot of employees that have been here. We have a lot of 10+ year employees here, which I think just across the industry, especially in the last probably 4 or 5 years, is not a normal thing, right? It's not normal for you to have a small business that has, 25 people that have been here 10+ years. I don't think it's a normal thing. We don't see it elsewhere. We see a lot of turnover. Like even if we're just talking about our competitors, right? And you're talking about like sales reps that you've seen for like a while, like they kind of bounce around. You see them all over the place. We seem to have the same people that we had 10 years ago for the most part, especially when you look, like at management and sales and that kind of stuff, customer service, inside reps, even those we're keeping those people a long time. And I think what we just talked about is mostly why, right? Like it's not like the benefits are just the craziest thing in the world. It's really like we treat them well and people stay. And we've had a lot of people leave for whatever reason they choose, and we had a lot of people come back, which I think is a testament to it as well, where they think it's nicer and then they leave and they realize kind of what they had and then come back. And I think it's a testament to kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, we had an employee that I bet him $50 that he'd be back, and he had to pay me $50 for me to rehire him. So I got $50 off him to rehire him. So I knew he was coming back. I bet him $50 that he would return,
and you made him pay.
And I made him pay. Absolutely made him pay.
It was the only requirement to start again.
Yeah. We did go through, so about 10 years ago is when we went through, I think, our biggest changes. And we lost a fair amount of sales reps at that point, but it was a change that we needed to make, like from a long time ago. We had a good core, but we needed change.
Fresh blood.
We needed fresh blood. We needed kind of a new direction, because that was kind of like in the transition between your dad and you and what was going on. And we were kind of lost with like, okay, well, where's the sales going and where are we at? So that was about 10 years ago though. But luckily here we had a good solid foundation. So like it didn't upset us like to change like that. So it worked out. It all worked out.
Seems like it.
It was a crazy time though. I'll tell you one thing. Judy can remember, it was crazy. And if you think I'm crazy now, you should have saw me 10 years ago. Yeah, we want to say anything to that, Judy?
It's still a work in progress. It may have been a little worse 10 years ago, but you're still a challenge. But you enjoy being a challenge, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do best. Stir the pot.
Yes, and then I clean up his messes. That's just how it goes.
Tyler, would you say that's true?
Yes, definitely. But you've definitely gotten less crazy in the last 10 years too, so I guess that's a win. But
so you think you didn't create any messes?
I mean, maybe a couple here or there.
Huh.
I could say, and maybe it might be true, I might have been one of the most, I don't want to say hated. What would be the right word?
Hated.
I was probably one of the most hated people here. And some of it was I was crazy, and some of it was I was upset in a cart. Like, there was a lot of people that were comfortable here, and I wasn't comfortable. Like, I was the one that, like, I really want to grow. Like, I really want to, like, see
you
what
wanted
this can
to push, and if they weren't going in the same direction,
we dumped them over in the ditch.
You did.
I don't know if that's true though. It seems like we didn't.
They still came back though. Some of them.
Some of them did.
We didn't really dump them. From at least from my perspective, a lot of them just like we were a moving train, and they were just jumping off. Is really what it was. They didn't want to, and all it was, I think, was just we wanted to grow, which means we were pushing people to do that. And if they didn't want to do that, that's basically just we're saying, well, that's what we're going to ask of you. So if you're not with it, then it's probably best for you to move on. And most of them chose to move on their own, just basically by being asked to work more than they were before. It's basically what it was. So, but I think in the end, I mean, that's kind of what got us to where we are now from where we were.
And in your defense, I was soft on people. You know, I just wanted everyone to do their job and be happy. And we didn't have a lot of measures, you know, as to what they were doing and what was being accomplished. Like, you didn't have phone reports.
And everybody does this. When you hire a professional, you expect they're professional. You expect that they're going out, they're doing their job, and they're going to get it done, and they're going to come back. So it's what you expect. And I learned from a long time ago, and anybody that's from Grand Rapids will know this. I managed Yesterdog when I was younger. And he always just say, people don't always do what you expect, but they will do what you inspect. And that's always stuck with me. And that's all I was doing was like, are these people actually working? And when you start to find out that they weren't actually working, I was going to Judy, like, we got to get rid of this guy, that guy, everybody, this guy's not doing it. And then when word got out, like this is getting crazy, then it got real crazy, but in a good way. And we did it. I think we did a good job.
We're better for it.
We're definitely better for it. And you know, I was sitting back. This was back when I was just a warehouse manager, and I was sitting back and I could see it. I could see what we need to change. But at that point, I was just kind of floating along for a while. And then it was like, okay, we got to make some change. And that's when we didn't really make change till we opened Chicago. And then that's when like, I learned more of the front office and that kind of stuff. And then that's when it's like, okay, wait a minute, we're not doing this or we're doing that. And that's when we started to really change. And in Judy's credit, you know, let me make changes when I was the most hated person at Wensco at one point. And I think she was the only one that had my back, maybe one other person, but that's about it.
Who was the other one? Because I don't think anybody else did.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think it was my guys in the back that were following me, though. The guys that could see what we were doing. But anyways, we made the changes, and it was fun. And
most of the time.
Yeah, there was some hairy.
It was probably not fun a lot of the time, actually.
There were times that were not fun, yes.
For him, it was a great time. For you, it was not fun.
I can't even imagine how many times people were in her office complaining about me daily.
I should have kept track.
Should have recorded some of those. We could have put them on the podcast.
Ooh.
The funny part is they all would have been accurate, probably.
Oh, no one was lying. Nobody was lying. Nobody was lying.
That is true.
Ben here, I remember him saying, "You're a bull in a china shop." Yes, I am. I said, yes, I am.
And you still are.
And he's still here, too.
Yeah, I made it.
In the end, like you said, some of those people that probably hated you before, I think eventually realized kind of the path we were on. And now probably are people that were like, okay, yeah, at the time I didn't realize it was the right decision, but now looking back at it, right, from where we were to where we are now, probably realized like, yeah, it probably was the right decision to let some of those people go.
And I think pretty much everyone's united. They see where we're going. They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, we have a very good crew when it comes to like our vision, where we want to go, and everybody sees it, like all the way down to like drivers, warehouse, customer service, especially all the management. Like I think we have an exceptional management team right now that we're all, we're very close, but we still challenge each other. Like we're a close-knit group, but like, hey, is this right? Are we making the right decision? And we can look at each other and challenge each other. And that's what you need in management. You need to be able to challenge each other, and then you need, I hope our competitors don't use it against, but you need equal power. Like the reality of how you run a good company is that second level of management, basically the level below where Judy's at, everybody has to have equal power. And if everybody doesn't have equal power, then you can't effectively run. And some of that was our problem before, is we had, two people really fighting for power, and one person should have had it, the other person shouldn't have had it. But now we have equal power, like marketing, product manager, sales, purchasing, tech, operations, financing. We all have equal power, and that's ultimately what you needed to do to get the company to run is absolutely smooth, but also be able to challenge each other. All those departments need to be able to challenge each other to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and that's what we do very well here, at least.
So with that being said, now that we have a good crew, like where do you see Wensco in the next, we're almost 90 years. Where do you see us another 90 years from now?
I won't be able to see that far.
I don't think any of us will, to be fair, unless they come up some crazy science by then. But
I hope to see steady growth. I mean, I want smart growth. We need to fix some areas that we're weak in, but I think once that's done, that it'll be full steam ahead.
What do you think that looks like?
More branches, staying up on products, good people, good sales, the full inventoried warehouses, delivering. I just think we've got all the potential in the world, and I plan on staying around long enough to at least see it get off the ground and back the growth.
Yeah, we need you to stick around because we need your money to keep growing.
That's what I was going to say, but I didn't think that was appropriate.
I don't want to use my money to grow. I want to use yours.
Thanks for pointing that out.
But yeah, I mean, like we said, our goal has been significant growth in more locations. Has basically been our goal the whole time, and we've been doing that. In the 6 years I've been here, we've opened 3 more locations. So we when I started 6 years ago, we had 4 and we have 7. So obviously we're growing pretty fast. Even like today, like literally when I was walking in I had to go to the store to buy stuff because we didn't have the equipment we needed to do this podcast today. But went to the store, got that stuff, came back, and a guy was
the masking tape.
No.
Yeah, so the viewers that can't see it, maybe Rick will put it up. We literally had to tape our plug-in to get these mics working. Like, this is a rinky-dink operation.
They just kept turning off beforehand, so now we're good. So this episode's sponsored by 3M Scotch Tape. Appreciate you holding this podcast together, literally. But anyways, no, there's a guy came here. We had a cabinet class this morning. He was here. He hadn't been here in a while, obviously. He's picking up, and he was talking to Tony in the back when I walked in, and he said, yeah, last time I purchased from you guys, you were over on like Leonard or something like that. And we're like, yeah, well, close, but yeah. And he's like, wow. He's like, yeah, you guys just kept growing. He's like, is that where you guys started? So then Tony's like, yeah, now we have, 7 locations. So even that guy is literally in his lifetime. The first time he ordered from us, we were one little location, and now we have 7 fully stocked warehouses. So it's kind of crazy in the time we've been here. And you said 1937, it makes us second oldest maybe of our competitors currently.
Yeah, we're all, that's the funny part about like everybody that's still around, like everybody that hasn't been bought up, we're all like 3rd generation now, and we're all right in that 30s to 40s range, like that's when they started. So like, it's really funny to see like everybody that's still like the companies that made it, that haven't been bought by things, we all operate very similar. Like as far as like order, delivery, like outside sales reps, like the model we had, the model that your dad kind of started was the model that made it through. Everybody that had a different model that didn't have like, with the exception of Fowler's, the only one that has the shipping model. But all the other companies that had a little different model didn't make it.
Well, it's tried and true. And you have the delivery process because a lot of things can't be picked up or...
Yep. Sorry, Rick's directed me.
Is it time up?
No.
Oh.
He's not talking into his mic, so he's getting yelled at by the producer.
Oh.
Yeah.
he's like talking over here and then just getting further and further away.
So go ahead.
You think I remember what we were talking about now?
Well, it's just like what I'm saying is I think we're second oldest. When I've looked through it, Glance older. It's just slightly older than us, but everyone else.
Where's Grimco? Grimco's got to be right there too.
But we are older.
But Grimco didn't really start in sign supply distribution. They started as a sign maker. Yeah, they were
supply.
They're a little different. Their startup date might be there, but they were a little different in the startup.
Yeah. But I just say that to say, like, obviously, that's when I go back to, like, how we started was him loading up a truck, driving it out there, selling the product and giving it to them. And now we have sales reps that drive out there and sell the product, and then we bring it out to them, meaning what he was doing when we started is clearly the method that worked. And now we do that, and a bunch of our competitors do the same thing. So obviously, however we started clearly has worked this long. So it's just a testament, I guess, to what they were doing originally obviously worked, and we kept doing it, and we just got a little better, a little better, a little better. And now we have 7 locations. So obviously it's working pretty well.
Yeah, we're still doing really well. I mean, compared to like a lot of these people that even like have been bought out, it's not that they weren't doing well. It was most companies, you get to 3rd generations when you see consolidation. In whether it's sign suppliers, it's anything. So in the people that didn't make it through were the people that were not just doing well, but like had a good plan. And a lot of these people didn't have a plan. Like, well, here I am. My kids don't want it. I don't want it. What am I going to do? So we did well through that, where it's, you know, even though Judy's not day-to-day operations, she had a good plan of like how to keep Wensco. And
thank you, Mike.
The nicest thing you ever said to me.
I know.
And it's on recording too.
I'm so glad that's recorded. Whew. Can I loop that? Can we loop that on the TV
screen.
Up there? Yeah. Well, keep that for the summer meeting too.
Next time you ask for a raise.
You know, the last video I had me and Judy on the summer meeting was her hitting me in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's true. But everyone understood that you deserved it.
Yes.
There was no context even needed for it. Nope. It just was a given that you deserved it.
So anyways, back to what I was saying, nice, is she had a good plan to make it through. And that plan doesn't always include like you running the company. It's getting the right people, which is obviously not you, me.
Tyler's the right person.
Tyler, we talked about it. Tyler, he had to earn his stripes to get to that job that he wanted.
That's like the first episode. Yeah.
So going forward, what's our next? What is your next steps?
My personal next steps?
Yeah. You gonna work here more?
Well, I actually might. I might spend a little bit more time here.
I'll be on the road.
You always are. My next steps are to make sure that the people I want to take over are fully trained in all areas, know how I want it run. Obviously, the business model is set up. It's just working with people skills and that type of thing to move it forward.
She said she wants the people that take over to be a little nicer than they are now.
Yes.
That's what she was saying.
And I just said the nicest thing I've ever said, so I don't know if I can.
Must be working. It's only taken, how long has he been here?
19, 20 years.
It took him 20 years to say one nice thing. So
I know.
Another 20 years, he might say nice things on a regular basis. We got a chance.
I doubt it.
I think it's just because I've been sick, so I'm feeling a little
yeah. He's worn down.
I'm worn down.
He's worn
He's a
down.
little drugged out.
Yeah. It's all these meds I'm on making me a little soft.
He couldn't suppress his inner niceness because he's on too many drugs.
Yep, for sure. Okay, well, I think we've covered everything. I don't know if there's more that you want to cover.
No, I think that was it. Just know where we came from, where we're at, kind of what our goal is moving forward. So people know. People that don't know us will know a little more. People that even that know us probably don't know everything that's going on here. So I think it's be useful for everyone to hear.
They need to know that we'll be here for the long run.
Yeah, I think we talked about before, we're going nowhere. Like, obviously, from Judy, we got a plan to move on, and then we got a plan to move on from there. Like, we're into we got a plan for 40 years out at least. After that, we don't know, but we'll be here around at least 40 more years, depending on the next generation, what they do. But yeah, we definitely have a plan. We're definitely not going anywhere. We're definitely not selling out. We definitely know where we're going. We definitely know what we're going to do. And we got a lot of things in the works right now. Maybe way too much. We had Tyler on the road all week. I know because I was homesick a couple days and his kids were at my house, and I would much rather be at work. These kids here are way easier. His gentle parenting's not working.
Well, it's hard to gentle parent when your kids don't gentle kid. That's the whole problem. It only works so far. But yes. No, I think it's important too to hear that too. We're not going anywhere. I think people should know, it's not like selling hasn't been on the table, right? We're a big company. We're doing very well. And there's definitely people that would like to buy us. Many people have asked.
And that's one of the reasons that I won't sell is my appreciation for the employees, the customers, our vendors. I just can't see risking all of that.
Yeah, knowing that what we do is different, and that's why people buy from us, right? They don't buy from us because we're the cheapest guy on the block. That's not the whole reason. So to sell, we risk kind of every reason we've given them to buy in the past, compromising that. And obviously you didn't think it's worth it because it's been on the table a few times. So
well, I think the fact that our staff knows that we're not going anywhere too makes a difference. They're more invested because they know we're going nowhere. We're going to be right here. So,
I thought you were saying we were going nowhere.
No. I meant we're going to be Wensco, and they know they're going to be a Wensco employee.
Much better.
They see what happens in the market, and no, I'm this, I'm that, and we have a lot of people that have been bought that are now moved to us, and they moved to us because they know we're going to be here. There's no option for except keep doing what we're doing today, do it tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, I think obviously what we're doing is working, so we'll just keep doing the way we're doing it. I think we're getting customers. We talked about one of the summer meetings, probably when I started, talked about hey, just know that we're not going anywhere. And at the time we were talking about Grimco had just made, I think, one acquisition. So at the time it was they weren't making a ton, right? And we were just making a point that hey, it's happening, but we're not going anywhere. And now, 3 or 4 years later, you think okay, when we said that, we were serious about it because now obviously they're trying to get there's a lot of people trying to grab as many people as they can, meaning the option to sell is more on the table now than it has ever been in the past. And that to say, like, we're not going anywhere. We're in a good spot. So,
yeah, we're doing well. So,
I think so.
Can this be my plug? Because I really kind of want to work Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
Judy, can we start working Saturdays and Sundays and holidays?
No.
Well, we are already working a holiday. It's Good Friday.
Oh, it is Good Friday. We should.
Oh,
we
yeah.
get double pay today?
You made me come in after noon on
the
Good
holiday.
Friday. I mean, you
That's
didn't make me. I wanted to.
Yeah, nice.
Good save. It was a good effort. I think that's it, though. I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted. Judy, thanks for coming in. I know you were nervous about
welcome.
it, but I feel like
Very nervous.
we were pretty nice to you. So hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, abnormally nice.
Yeah. He's on
Yep.
drugs.
Not.
We got him.
Tyler's always nice.
We gave him extra drugs just before you got here. Just
That was
really,
a perfect plan.
just really calm him down. So it's good. But yeah, thanks guys. We appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a little bit about Wensco and our history. If you have any questions, reach out. We got people calling us and emailing us and telling us they're listening to the podcast. So we appreciate it. Keep letting us know.
Remember to watch it on YouTube, please.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of you have been actually. It's our most viewed platform currently is YouTube. So we appreciate it. You guys are doing what we asked you to do. So it's been good.
And what's episode 8 going to look like?
Episode 8.
Yeah, we're on 7. What's 8?
Yep. 8. We'll have another guest on, assuming it all works out. Nothing happens in the middle, but Dustin David from Vanguard will join us. So if you want to learn about flatbeds or looking at one or looking at upgrading, he'll be in. We'll talk to him about it, and hopefully you'll learn something there too. So once again, guys, we appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for your business.